Okay. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Nice to see you all here tonight. Sorry about that. I talked so much last week, I ran out of things to say. So you'll be spared tonight. We're winding down with our events because our SVPs are closed for all of them. So tomorrow we're celebrating the adult B'nai Mitzvah of Richard Kaufman, Sandy Strauss, and Mila Zerlin. That will be at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and it will also be on YouTube. So if you can't attend, you can join us via YouTube and share on their mitzvah. Next Saturday is our 65th Anniversary Gala, and Leslie's cheering. And unfortunately, for those of you who have an RSVP, the RSVPs are closed. For those of us who are attending, I'm looking forward to a wonderful event. It's going to be very nice. We have all sorts of wonderful auction baskets. They'll be surprised for you. I'd like to thank our technical crew, who tonight is David Youngman and Phil Carey. Unfortunately, Chris is sitting at home waiting for Spectrum to come and find out why we have no internet. And of course, as always, I want to thank our professional staff, Rabbi Mark, Cantor Ken, and Ray Irwin on the Clavinova. They really enhance the beauty of our services. To those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us. I'm sure that you're enjoying the services as much as we do in person. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you very much, Dina, for those announcements. In addition, for those of you joining us on YouTube at home, I invite you to set aside some challah, kiddush, wine or juice, your favorite beverage, maybe some candles you can share with us as we light our candles here. In addition, we have Shabbat greetings from Jeff and Wilma Shear, Rita and Bob Rubin, Lillian and Eileen Mignella. And I wish to acknowledge that Jeff is a past president of our congregation and a member of our board, and Rita is here with her daughter Sue. Thank you, Rita, for your continued support. And Lillian is, I'm sorry, not Lillian, Eileen. Lillian's mother is here as well. Thank you all for your continued support. We have a Shabbat shout out from Elaine Sacker, Mazel Tov to Sandy Strauss on becoming a bat mitzvah as an adult. Yes, we'll be celebrating 3 adults who started with very little Hebrew ability and now can lead a worship service and can read from the Torah and will deliver a drash as well. And we have another shout out in, well, actually more in honor of of Jeff and Winston's climb on Mount Kilimanjaro. Congratulations. Wow, that's quite an accomplishment. And virtual flowers are sponsored by our sisterhood in recognition of Mom's Day, which is this Sunday. To all of our mothers, thank you very much. And our live flowers are sponsored by Richard Kaufman, Sandy Strauss, and Mila Tsirlin, our adult B'nai Mitzvah, whom we shall have a chance to hear from more tomorrow. Tonight we're going to do a number of things. First of all, this night is supposed to be our pre-K, K, and first grade Shabbat services, which turned out to be a rather interesting challenge. For some of our students, this is bedtime. For some of our other students, during the service is their bedtime. And for some of our other students, today is a school activity. So, as cute as these students are in person, I am hoping that we will find them even cuter on the screen, because we have recordings of all of them to participate in our worship service, which I think will actually make it a little bit easier for us on our ears, because some of them are just now learning to read. Some of them are just now even mastering how they speak. And so we have little text boxes on all of their presentations, so that way, whether there is a wisp involved or not, or whether they speak too softly, or whether they speak very loudly or very quickly, we'll be able to keep up with them. So thanks to the advent of modern technology, we are able to celebrate with our pre-K, K, and first grade students, some of whom are going to bed. Laila Tov, good night. Some of you will be going to bed. Laila Tov, good night. Most of you will be watching tomorrow morning, which is wonderful, because Saturday morning I got to watch cartoons. You'll get to see yourself celebrating our worship service. So I'm grateful for our ability to be able to share their words and their questions and their ruach, their neshama, their spirit and their souls with us on this Shabbat. In addition, we are going to recognize our teachers. And also, since this is the first Friday in May birthdays and anniversaries. So it's going to be a very busy night for us. So without further ado, let us welcome this Shabbat with the singing of Shalom Aleichem. Our tradition teaches us that each one of us have messengers that travel with us during the week. Some of them are messengers of flesh and blood, people who have done acts of kindness for us, people who have helped us, people who have assisted us, people who have supported us. Some of these messengers are memories that travel with us of generations past, who share our physical world no more, but nonetheless live on in our hearts. And some of these are spiritual messengers that just seem to come out of the blue with a message to stop, to look, to pay attention, to smell, to hear the birds, to listen to the wind. We greet all these messengers. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mi Melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mi Melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש הקדוש ברוך הוא. ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש הקדוש ברוך הוא. ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש הקדוש ברוך הוא.
I'd like to invite Linda Sealander, our consummate pre-K, kindergarten, first grade teacher, to join me on the bima, so we have a chance to hear from our students in preparation for the lighting of our Shabbat candles.
We need time to pray. Prayer is talking to God. Prayer is talking about God. When we pray, we think about our lives. Prayers help us. It is important for us to pray to God.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahaligner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, our Adonai, our God, source of all being, who calls to us holy acts through mitzvot and inspires us to kindle these lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נשר שבת, שבת, שבת. Thank you.
When I pray, I wondered what mitzvah is. I wondered about rainbows. One mitzvah helps me do more mitzvah 1. Shabbat. Each week. 1. Taurus. 2. Study.
I wonder why people are different. I wonder when all people will be safe. I wonder about life. Wondering is reaching for all answers. God is forever. Prayer is reaching for God.
I invite us to rise as we are able, as we continue with the words of our Baruch Hu.
Lie, la 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 lie. Lie, la 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 lie. Lie, la 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 lie, 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 la 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 lie, lie. Lie, la 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 lie. Lie, la 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 lie, 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 la 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 lie, lie. Lie, la 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 lie, lie, lie. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
One God. God is one. God is always part of the world.
God acts in special ways. We can be special too. Praying to God is special. God is wonderful. God is one.
As you see, cute as a button person and on screen. We continue with the words of our Shema.
can sing about God.
Let's do that. Okay. Adonai, lai, 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 lai. Hilot, o sei felle, lai la 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 la. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha Okay, ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ezeri anu be'ameru Adonai imloch Adonai himloch leolam va'ed. Lai la 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 la.
Shabbat is our opportunity to find ways to do life differently. In Exodus, with the Ten Commandments, we are reminded to Zachor et Yom HaShabbat, to remember the Sabbath day. In Deuteronomy, when Moses repeats the Ten Commandments, the verb is Shamor et Yom HaShabbat, observe the Sabbath day. Our rabbis understand that these two words bespeak our intentions. We must remember that Friday night is Shabbat, but that's not enough to remember that it is Shabbat. There are things that we are supposed to do on Shabbat. We are supposed to refrain from work. Our rabbis came up with their definition of work, and our challenge is to come up with our own definition of what is that work that we wish to abstain from during this time. For some, those 39 activities are sufficient. For others, those 39 categories are lacking some of the modern sensitivities and sensibilities. We find ways to carve out time to teach ourselves that we are not beasts of burden. We are, each one of us, created in God's image and endowed with sanctity, and are called upon to find ways to live a life of holiness. May this Shabbat inspire us to do exactly that, to find ways to do differently during this time.
Shabbat וקוראי עונג שמחו ומלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבי מקדש שבי כולם יספעו ויתענגו יספעו ויתענגו מטובך יספעו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג עמדת ימים אותו קראת עמדת ימים אותו קראת זכר למעשה בראשית זכר למעשה בראשית ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג.
Person can make difference. One me, one you, caring for each other.
That is the definition of community. One person caring for each other, one me and one you. And that is what we do when we come to our tefillah, prayers that connect us to our ancestors. We are reminded of Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Rachel and Leah, their community, what they started, what has become our community. I invite us to rise as we are able as we continue with the words of our tefillah.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach uf, yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah, Rab Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Nofelim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Mechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman Ata L'Hachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh, shimcha kadosh, ukadoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We may be seated. I'd like to invite Linda Sealander to share a few words before we hear this next segment of video of our students. It is related to something that they do in class, and it's also related to an aspect of our worship service this evening. Right about there.
Okay, every week when the students would come to Sunday school, they would share out something they did during the week that was an act of kindness. And so now you're going to have the real joy of hearing them share with you some of these kindnesses.
And it is these acts of kindnesses that actually lead to the prayer that we are going to share afterwards.
I play with my friends every day at school. I give hugs to my mom and my dad every night before I go to sleep. I show my toys with my friends. I keep my hands to myself. I am kind to others and follow directions at school. I help my parents feed my cats.
I helped my dad rake up the leaves. I draw pictures for people who are sick. I helped my dad take out the trash. I share with my friends. I will be friends with other caring children and share with them. I will be nice with others all of the time. I will hug my mom and dad. I will smile at everybody and read to my dad. I help my brother to not fall off the bed. And I say hi to my teacher. I listen to my soccer coach. I help my dad feel better by massaging his leg. I call my grandparents and read to my whole family.
What you heard was the definition of peace.
Israel Amecha Asi Be'olam Shalom Rav Yisrael Shalom. Etov beinecha, levarech et amecha Yisrael. V'chol sha'a
We extend our prayers for peace to all who have found their peace shattered, to the people of Ukraine, to the people across the world who are facing violence, to individuals who are facing violence to their bodies from the illnesses that they are facing, cancer, whatnot, those whose well-being has been under attack either by the pandemic or the spillover effects of this pandemic in the world of economy and employment. All who have suffered a loss of shalom. We extend our hopes that their journeys, their struggles, their fights will bring them back to that sense of shalom. A restoration of wholeness and peace in their lives. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to all who are in need. And let us say, Amen.
The source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing. Let us say, Amen. In need of healing, with refuah shlema, a renewal of body, renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We take a moment to pause from the prayers we share aloud, so that instead we might listen to the prayers of our hearts and of our innermost souls. To bring us into this time of quietude and reflection, I share this thought. Hold on to your hand when you are about to do an unkind act. Hold on to your tongue when you are just ready to speak harshly. Hold on to your heart when evil persons invite you to join their ranks. Hold on to your temper when you are excited or angry, or others are angry with you. Hold on to the truth, for it will serve you well and do you good throughout eternity. Hold on to your virtue. It is above all price to you in all times and in all places. Hold on to your character, for it is and ever will be your best wealth. We pause for a moment of silent meditation, or such other prayer as the heart may prompt.
Shalom, 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 imroma, uyase shalom aleinu. Shalom, 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 imromav, uyase Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen.
Cantor, as always, I thank you for the music you bring to our worship service. Dr. Ray, again, it is an honor to share the Bima with you these 14 years. Thank you very much. To Donna Berglas-Hess, to Eileen Mignella and Joteas, thank you very much for setting up our oneg and handling that for us. Tonight I want to, before we get into our questions from our children, I want to take this opportunity and acknowledge and thank our teachers. We've had a very strange couple of years here at the Temple Beth Or Religious School and Hebrew Lab. We have been forced to go into Zoom sessions. This past year we started in masks. We had our masks lifted during the year. We found ourselves dealing with a variety of things that did not come with the How to Run a School Owner's Manual or the curriculum. And our teachers rose to that challenge with tremendous creativity, passion, integrity, and care for our students. And I wish to commend them all. Teaching our pre-K, our kindergarten, and our first grade teachers, Mrs. Linda Sealander, of course, our consummate teacher of our younger grade students. We won't even discuss how many years you've been teaching here because we don't want to talk about that, but I am grateful to have you here with us. She was ably aided by Mara Milhander this year, who on a couple of occasions even taught the class as well. Mara, thank you very, very much. You are as well a treasure here amongst us. Teaching grades 2, 3, 4, and 5, Mrs. Laura Milhander continues teaching with us, and that is a handful. Originally, it was just 3, 4, and 5, and then we had a second grade student join us, and then it became 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it was a handful. Teacher has decorated the room in such a way that our students found they learned whether they realized they were learning or not. She was ably aided by Samantha Kotkin, a post-confirmand of our congregation, and I'm grateful to Samantha, who's unable to be with us as she is graduating this year and will be off to NYU, but she's going to Madrid for the first year. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting opportunity for her. Teaching grades 6 and 7, Mara Julie Nolte with us this evening, who also has a son, as you saw, in Mrs. Sealander's class. And grades 6 and 7 this year, we had a chance to hear them. They led us in worship services, as did our 2, 3, 4, and 5 grade students. And a wonderful opportunity to hear curious minds as they begin to wrestle with so many aspects of Judaism. Teaching our upper grade students 8, 9, and 10, we had Hannah Youngman, and joined periodically by Alyssa Hess as well. And they too, these young minds, as they begin to open up and wrestle with what it means to be a young Jewish adult in the 21st century with pandemics and anti-Semitism, it was a wonderful opportunity to watch these students engage Jewish tradition, branch beyond Jewish tradition, wrestle with Jewish values, and begin to make sense of some of those things. And I'm looking forward to teaching our 9th graders, who will next year be our confirmands. And of course, our confirmation students, taught by myself. We will have a chance to celebrate with them on Saturday, June the 4th, Erev Shavuot. We will be celebrating not only the Erev holiday of Shavuot, but their confirmation as well. 3 students, Elena Cienfuegos, the Cienfuegos family just recently joined us, Lila Fenton Strauss, and Hannah Green. Our confirmation Latakain trip was canceled due to the explosion of the variant back in January of this year. Students from the previous 2 years did not have a chance to go to Washington, D.C. There's an open invitation for them to join next year's confirmation class. I just learned we've got our date. We're going in December. So hopefully we will be virus-free in December and have the opportunity to go there. I want to give you a sample of what our year was like. And so we have a short 4-minute video that highlights all the activities our students were engaged in this past year. David, when you are ready. To please stand and face our congregation so that we might acknowledge you and thank you for your dedication, your commitment, and your passion to our students and to our school. Thank you very much. Also, I wish to acknowledge one who, because of our pandemic and other kinds of things, had a rather difficult couple of years with us. Peggy Horowitz has been a longtime teacher at Temple Beth Or, and for which I am truly grateful. She came to me some time ago as she was looking to retire from public school for reduced time here at Temple Beth Or, which we accommodated in a variety of ways. And then the pandemic hit, and everything went sideways real fast. I am so terribly grateful to Peggy for her patience, her opportunities to be with us. And Peggy, it is my hope that we will be able to, now that we're seem to be on top of our pandemic, be able to function more fully with you in this next academic year. Each of you will be receiving a bonus in your paychecks. Thank you to Temple Beth Or for that. And as our token appreciation of being able to say thank you very much for your Sunday mornings, for Wednesday afternoons, your patience. I do wish to acknowledge that Julie Nolte and Alyssa Hess are part of our Hebrew lab teachers, as is, of course, our Cantor. Our religious school would not be complete without Cantor Ken and his enthusiasm and teaching our students not only traditional songs, but new songs as well. Some of them self-written by our very own Cantor, so it's been a year of musical growth for our religious school students in so many different ways. So to all of our teachers, to Linda Sealander, Laura Milhander, to Julie Nolte, to Mara Milhander, to, right, I got all of you, to Cantor Ken, to Alyssa Hess, to Hannah Youngman, who's not here. Alyssa Hess is not here. Hannah Youngman, Samantha Kotkin. That covers all of our teachers. Thank you very much for...
And to Rabbi Mark for teaching confirmation as well.
Thank you. Thank you. That remains to be seen. We'll have to see on June 4th how that worked out. One of the neat things that we have done with our religious school students, with our youngest students, is the opportunity for them to ask questions. That, as Tevye would say, would cross a rabbi's eyes. And so, with that, let us turn to, just like our Passover Seder, our youngest students for their insightful questions.
Why can't I see God?
Wait, why can't we see God? And how far away is God?
How did God create people?
How did God make
Us?
us?
And how was God made?
And how was God made?
What is heaven like?
How did God create the world?
How did God create the layers of the earth?
Does God cry? Why do people die before they are old?
Going back to our first couple of questions. Why can't we see God? And how far away is God? These are very powerful beginning questions to try to begin to answer. Why can't we see God? Sometimes there are things that are just too big for us. During the daytime, we cannot see the stars, although they shine very much in the sky. But the light of the sun outshines them. And sometimes things in life keep us from seeing God. Indeed, Moses asked that very question, wanting to see God. And Moses was told, you cannot see my face, you can only see what is behind me. And so we don't get to see God, but we get to see what God has left behind. this creation, the world, nature, the universe, which we can glimpse in the starry skies. And how far away is God? Our rabbis teach us God dwells in all who have space in their hearts for God to dwell. How did God make the earth, and how did God make the layers of the earth? That's a far more complicated even question to try to begin to answer. We will rely, however, on the fact that there is great complexity in life. And just as human beings are composed of different parts of their body, there are different organs within us that come together to create the whole. God wanted a complex world, and so that's why we have layers upon layers and all of this rich diversity of life. The one question that blew by us very quickly was, does God cry? And I believe sometimes, yes, God cries. God cries when God sees how we hurt each other. God cries when we don't live to our full expectation. God cries when we human beings do not partake of the fullness that life has to offer. David, can we go back a couple of questions? And
Why do people die before they are old?
why do people die before they are old? Yeah. A very difficult and a very sad question. And this is one that we have asked throughout the ages. Why do bad things happen to good people? And that is a question that has no answer. It truly does not have an answer. Certainly there is no answer that will help assuage the grief or to make the pain any less. All we can do when these tragedies happen is to recognize that God has given us all the skills and talents and powers to be able to respond to that. We need to respond with patience and kindness to those who have suffered such a loss. And we need to avail ourselves of the resources that are available to us. Grief counseling, spiritual counseling for those who are going through those very difficult times. Great. Next question, David. Number 7, I would think.
I was the rabbi to go all over the world and do fun stuff. What fun stuff would you do?
Questions that have been asked. This is the only one that asks, Landon is the only one who asked what it was that I would do. What fun stuff would I do? I would go camping. I would go hiking. I would go out into nature as Deb and I do, and I would just experience the world. I would travel. I would cook foods. I would eat strange new foods. I would do those things. I would read for pleasure. Those are some of the fun stuff that I would do. Thank you. Next question.
Can a dog be Jewish?
Absolutely. Dogs can be Jewish. Dogs and cats can be Jewish. Fish can be Jewish. However you raise your animal, that is how they are. They even make kosher for Passover dog food. And I know this because we lived on the kibbutz next door to the kibbutz that made dog food, kosher dog food in Israel. But for Passover, they make kosher for Passover dog food because you can't have any chametz, which comes from the 5 grains: wheat, oat, barley, spelt, and rye. And some of those grains are in dog foods. And so they make dog food kosher for Passover without that. So yes, Leonard, the answer to the question, yes. Dogs and cats can be Jewish. As a matter of fact, we will invite you all to a bar mitzvah in the future. Next question.
Why do we get presents during Hanukkah? Why?
Why do we light candles? for Hanukkah? Is the other part of that question.
Why do we get presents during Hanukkah? Why do we light candles during Hanukkah?
Having recorded the questions, I kind of knew what the questions would be. And so this is a question we all know. Why do we light candles for Hanukkah? Oil. Which is a big legend, as you know. We light candles during Hanukkah because this is a way you celebrate. And as it's getting darker in the winter, we are lighting candles on our Hanukkah to remind us of the light of enlightenment and of God's presence. And presence, what is our gift-giving holiday? Purim is our gift-giving holiday. That is the holiday in which we read about gifts that were sent by the Jews. And this year, during our Purim Carnival, our religious school students sent gifts to HIAS, the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, which has a whole Ukraine campaign underway. We sent Shlach Manot gift baskets to IDF soldiers, and we sent money to Latit, which is an organization in Israel that provides food and support to Holocaust survivors in Israel and actually around the world. And those were the three organizations that our religious school students selected to send gifts to. So Purim is really our gift-giving holiday. But because of the proximity of Hanukkah to Christmas, Hanukkah has become a gift-giving holiday as well. And so it's a time of joy. We beat the Greeks, we won, and here we are. And so let's eat latkes and donuts and give gifts. And I think those are all of our questions that our students ask for us. Quite insightful, quite mind-bending, quite challenging as our young students. I want to invite Linda Sealander to share a few other words about what her class has worked on. And again, I wish our students could have been here with us, but again, between bedtimes and school activities and all the other things going on, this, I think, was the best way for us to partake of their experience. So, Linda, here you go.
Thank you. All right. Okay. We've had a great year this year. We've learned about all the Jewish holidays and Bible stories. Also, we learned a lot about Jewish values, as you saw, caring for each other and being kind to others. We also did all kinds of fun things, learning about our temple. And the way we accomplished all these really great things is we read lots of books, lots of Jewish books, and we did singing, which is so much fun. And the singing was, of course, enriched by Cantor Ken here. He had us jumping and moving all around, and the kids were laughing, and they just loved singing with him. So we enjoyed that a lot. And also, if you know me, I feel children should be real hands-on with what they're doing. They remember more. It means more to them. So we did lots of crafts that went along with our curriculum a lot through the year. And then, of course, baking. Of course, we have to bake, and they love that, the Hamantashen and the Hanukkah cookies. And then at the end, actually, our rabbi baked matzah with them, and they just loved that. It was a nice experience for them. And so I also wanted to mention about Mara Milhander. She worked in my class, and we enjoyed her so much. The children loved working with her, and so did I. So thank you, Mara. That was so nice of you. So we've had a great year, learned a lot, and I look forward to seeing a lot of my same students next year again. And then I also enjoy, as they go on to Laura, it's fun to see them grow and change through the years. There you go. All right.
Thank you for all of your years of dedication to the congregation and to our students. Thank you. With that, we've come to birthdays and anniversaries. If you are celebrating a happy occasion during the month of May, an anniversary, a birthday, a mortgage burning, a final car payment, a final student payment. If you have any happy events going on in May, please join us here on the Bima so that we might acknowledge those happy events and have a chance to share in blessings with you and for you. We'll start down here.
Sue will be 44 this year.
Sue will be 44. Wonderful, Sue. Mazel tov to you. We will celebrate that in just a moment as we continue with
Cindy Tessler. I'm turning 50 May 21st.
Sherry Held, and I have two celebrations. I'm turning 78 tomorrow, and also tomorrow will mark the 32nd year that I have been Jewish. And
Mazel
proud
tov.
of it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm Marion Gasser, and today I've turned 88.
Mazel tov.
My name is Sandy Block, and I am turning 86 on the 21st of May as well.
Oh, wonderful.
My name is Ray Irwin. I sit over there. My wife and I are celebrating two things this month. Our daughter is graduating from a school in Paris, as in France, in a couple of weeks. And we just found out this morning that she's going to be the graduate school class speaker at the commencement.
Very nice.
I'm Barry Block. I'm going to be 56 on May 21st.
Wonderful. Wonderful. In addition, we have these anniversaries: Morris and Evelyn Spaber, David and Karen Sane, Toby and Dana Porter, David and Sandra Scharf, Dr. Michael and Debbie Rudolph, Bob and Rita Rubin, and Gerald and Shannon Hammer. And the birthdays: Lori Rosenfeld, Peter Gelmini, Fran Benvenisti, Mackenzie Morris, Helene Moss, Sophia Galvin, Elisa Rose, Harry Fox, Marion Gasser, Hannah Green, Sherry Held, Alec LeBeau, Eddie Goldstein, Shannon Gimble Hammer, Ryan Morris, Wilma Shear, Elena Cienfuegos, Cynthia Tessler, Joseph Horowitz, Kathy Rudd, Sandy Block, Barry Block, Nancy Griffin, Adrian Berger, Art Hess, Jeff Shear, Lorraine Stein, Sue Rubin, Gerald Hammer, Victoria Cienfuegos, Charlene Brotman, Paula Rosenberg, Michael Sugarman, and Doug Kotkin. For all of those wonderful occasions, let us join together with our Shehechianu blessing, thanking God for the opportunity to be able to celebrate these wonderful events.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Mazel tov to all of you on the birthdays and the anniversaries celebrated this month. Mazel tov. With that, we move to the conclusion of our worship service with the words of the Aleinu. I invite us to rise as we are able.
שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו משפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורלנו ככל המונם אנחנו בוראים משפחה ונאמר והיה אדוני
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, those who live on in our hearts and our memories, and the place we call Olam Haba, the world to come. We call to mind one for whom we are observing the Shiva period, Gerald Kramer, the son of Lily Kramer, and our hearts go out to Lily in the immediacy of the death of her son. To these names, to his name rather, we link the names of those whose yardshites have occurred during this past week: Celia Atun, Tyler Jason Gordon, Dorit Phillips, Stephen Philip Brotman, Lena Winger, Beth Jacoby Deitch, Berta Ursus, William Kruskol, Kate Silver, Shirley Hahn, Juan Silvis, Estelle Dunst, Evangeline Irwin, Theodore Copeland, Ruth Rosen, Ron Mills, Bob Gordon, Ralph J. Hambro, Stephen Schechter, Maisie E. Brightman, Evelyn Levoot, Robert Lutsky, Louis D. Frank, and Goldie Krotinger. And to those names, we link the names of those for whom we are observing the Kaddish period: Malcolm Dipperstein, Mark Bornstein, Leah Levine, Vicky Emery, Sheldon Zinberg, Evelyn Levin, Gloria Austin, Dee Dee Ginter, Dorothy Bernard, Molly Shartoff, Erica Cherie Barnes, Kaylee Goldstein, Craig Wilford, Fred Fink, Joyce Ulibari, Ralph Goldstein, Marvin Asnes, Joel Jaffe, Norma Lippy, Claire Phillips, David Kaplan, Helene Lieberman, Laura Cutler, Marty Hershkowitz, and Dottie Roth. If there's a loved one whom you are remembering, I invite you to share that name at this time. To those that we have named aloud and to those that we keep named in the quiet places of our hearts and memories, we link as well the names and memories of the men and women of our armed forces who have given their lives for our liberties and our freedoms, those who have given their lives for our safety here at home, the members of our police, our firefighters, and other first responders, and the members of the Israeli Defense Forces who have given their lives for the hope of peace. Zichronam levracha. May their memories be for a blessing as we share together the words of our Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemer Rabba. B'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari vimru. Amen. Yehi shemer Rabba mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha berichu, la'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael,
we may be seated. Juice and wine is a symbol of joy and happiness, and as we come to the end of our Shabbat service, we are grateful for the opportunity of our young ones to challenge us with our questions and to share with us their enthusiasm and their energy and their love of being Jewish. And we do so with the words of our Kiddush, so that when you enter the social hall, you'll be able to grab a glass of juice or wine, as is your preference.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzonin lanu. Zikaron b'maseh v'reishit, Yom techila במקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. אנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון נהלתן. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. L'chaim. L'chaim, Ray. And with that, let's end our service with words of praise. I invite us to rise as we are able. If you are comfortable putting your arms around the shoulder of someone next to you, feel free to do so. Holding the hands of someone next to you, feel free to do so. As we conclude with Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Kol Hanshama, everything with a breath of life, let us sing out praise.
Hallelujah, 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 Kol Hanshama, Kol Hanshama, Hallelujah, 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 Kol Hanshama, Hallelujah, 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 Kol Hanshama, Hallelujah, 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 Kol Hanshama, Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
And with a bisala of challah, we have the opportunity to acknowledge the partnership between ourselves and God, providing us with the raw ingredients. Let us find ways and courage and strength to turn those raw ingredients into blessings with the words of our motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Motzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Bon appetit. Shabbat shalom, everyone.